Alright, so in the world of Chainsaw Man, the Angel Devil is easily one of the best characters, and despite having the appearance of a 12-year-old child, he's also one of the strongest. Today we're going to be breaking down exactly what makes him so interesting, and by the end you'll understand his full backstory, the nature of his abilities, and the sad reason why Makima ruined his life. Before we get into it though, don't forget to sub to the channel for more Chainsaw Man videos like this, especially if you're interested in seeing episode breakdowns for the anime when it comes out. Okay, so for anyone watching who might not know how devils are created in this series, I'm going to do a brief explanation just so that the rest of the video makes sense. To start things off, there are two locations we need to be aware of, the first being Hell, which is the dimension where all devils are first born, and the second location being Earth. The way things work is that if enough people on Earth fear something, then eventually a devil representing that fear will manifest in Hell, and an easy example is how humans' fear of darkness led to the creation of the Darkness Devil. The Angel Devil is the same in that he was born out of humanity's fear of angels, and if we consider for a second just how terrifying biblically accurate angels are, then yeah, it makes sense why a lot of people would be afraid. Anyway, while it's true that the underworld is a completely separate dimension, there are still ways for devils to escape, with the most common method being reincarnation. What this means is that if a devil is killed in Hell, then following its death it gets reincarnated somewhere on the planet, where it now has the chance to eat as many people as it wants to. As a result, most countries employ devil hunters to help protect their population, and this is what brings us to Angel's tragic backstory. Originally, when the Angel Devil first reincarnated on Earth, he was born on a tropical island with no memory of his past life, and it didn't take long for him to blend in with the local village. Unlike most devils, he never had the urge to kill anyone, since it was confirmed in chapter 34 that devils who look human tend to be more friendly towards people. That's why in this tropical paradise he was able to make friends with the villagers, who taught him how to speak their language and built him his own house. Eventually, he also got into a relationship with one of the local women, and it seemed like he had a peaceful existence where most of his days were spent either swimming or relaxing on the beach. However, this all began to change when Makima arrived, and for those who don't know, Makima is a high-ranking devil hunter that works for the Japanese government. Her motivation for tracking him to this remote village is revealed later in the series, where it's explained that during his previous life in Hell, Angel was a loyal disciple of the Chainsaw Devil. For Makima's own reason, she'd been searching for the Chainsaw Devil for a long time, and along the way she hunted down 7 of his disciples, with Angel now being the 8th. Following a brief introduction, she uses her abilities to force him to demonstrate his power, and while under her control, the Angel Devil massacres the entire village, including his girlfriend. Impressed by his raw talent, Makima then erases his memory and brings him to Tokyo, where he's made to work as a devil hunter alongside other former disciples of Chainsaw Man. Before we go any further though, it's probably best that we explain what his amazing power is, since Makima even said that his potential makes him the strongest agent they have. To put it simply, the Angel Devil has 3 unique abilities, the first of which is that he drains the life force of any human he touches. By making even the smallest contact with someone, he instantly decreases their lifespan, and if that contact is maintained for too long, the person he's touching will eventually die. This is the method that was used to wipe out his home village when Makima was controlling him, and on a separate occasion, Aki's lifespan was reduced by 2 months after the two of them briefly touched hands. A quirk like this makes Angel one of the most dangerous characters to be around, but in a similar way to Rogue from the X-Men movies, he hates his own powers and usually avoids touching people unless he has to. Now, moving on to his second ability, the Angel Devil can create supernatural weapons that are made from the life force of his victims. As an example, when he drained his girlfriend, he likely stole at least 40 to 50 years from her lifespan, and then later on when he was ready, he used 10 of those years to produce this magical sword. Here we can see that a halo is used to generate these new weapons, and their supernatural power varies depending on how many years were needed to manifest it. In chapter 35, a katana that Angel made was used to kill a devil that should have been impossible to cut through, and in chapter 60, he used 5 years of life to create a sword that slices people without leaving a scratch. These are both clear demonstrations of his insane potential, but there's a good reason why he generally doesn't like producing these weapons. When Angel was first introduced, he had at least 1,120 years worth of life that he'd absorbed from other people, and he later confessed how these victims would sometimes haunt him in his nightmares. Because of this, he often hesitates to use their life force to create these weapons, and on one occasion he even apologized for using their lifespans in this way. Finally, Angel's last unique power is that he has bulletproof wings that can block gunfire from close range, but as of making this video, there hasn't been any confirmation that the wings also allow him to fly. Anyhow, with that said, it's time to explore the remaining personality traits that make him such an intriguing character, and to do this we need to flash back to the first few volumes of the manga. In those early volumes, it was plain to see that to be a devil hunter you need to have a specific reason for taking the job, whether that reason be revenge, family commitments, or something more ridiculous. Even devils like Power had a goal that they wanted to accomplish, but when it came to Angel he genuinely had no purpose. From his perspective, nothing about being a devil hunter made life worth living, and this lack of motivation led to him constantly slacking around and at one point admitting that he'd rather die than continue working. His outspoken nature and sluggish demeanor made for a pretty entertaining combo, but as an audience we sympathize with Angel because not only was he the unhappiest devil, but he's also the most human. Despite the fact that he's supposed to be a bloodthirsty creature, Angel demonstrates human emotions like empathy when he tells a dying woman she's going to heaven. He demonstrates regret regarding the lives he's had to take, and of course he demonstrated love. And when you combine all of those things together, you get a unique devil who's closer to being human than certain human characters in the series. Now, before we end the video, I'm going to do some quick fire trivia, but fair warning, there will be spoilers from this point forward. Okay, so point number 1 is that the Angel Devil likely had a completely different appearance during his first life, as it's been proven that devils take on a new form when they get reincarnated. This opens up the possibility that in Hell, Angel did actually look like a biblically accurate angel, but it's also possible that he still looked like a human with alternate features. Point number 2 is that in the latest popularity poll, Japanese readers ranked Angel as the 7th most popular character, with his devil hunting partner Aki being ranked in first place. Point number 3 is that the first time Makima puts him under her control, she comes out of nowhere and approaches him on the beach, but the second time he goes under her control, the reverse happens with him being the one to approach her on the beach. Point number 4 is that for some unusual reason, Angel's arms didn't regenerate after being cut off by the Darkness Devil, but in chapter 89 we see that both of his arms have now returned, likely thanks to Makima's influence. Point number 5 is that most of the former disciples of Chainsaw Man remembered one thing from their time in Hell, which is the sound of his chainsaw engine before they died. The only exception to this is the Shark Fiend, who seems to have a clear memory of what the Chainsaw Devil was like, and he even explains to Denji how exactly Chainsaw used to use his powers. This implies that the Shark Devil might not have actually died and been reincarnated like everyone else, but instead maybe he was captured in Hell and then somehow brought to Earth by Makima. Lastly, the final bit of trivia is about the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. This tale is one of Aesop's famous short stories, and throughout Chainsaw Man, several characters gave their perspective on which mouse they'd rather be. The way the story goes is that the town mouse gets to live in a big house in the city and eat all the best food, but has a high risk of being killed by either cats or humans. By contrast, the country mouse gets to live in relative safety in the countryside, but doesn't get to have the luxuries that come with being a town mouse. In Chainsaw Man, characters like Denji preferred being the town mouse because he values having fun more than a life of peace, but in Angel's case, we know that he belongs in the country, and the fact that Makima brought him to the city is exactly why he's so depressed. On a personal level, I lean more towards being a country mouse as well. However, let me know down below in the comments which mouse you'd rather be. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and leave a like if you want to see more Chainsaw Man content like this. Thanks for watching as always, and until the next one, peace out.